But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we really don't know all the fighters he beat. And he was what he could have been not clean in a lot of.
Canelo and Floyd will likely always have some tension between them. Canelo believes Floyd only defeated him because he wasn't in his prime yet, while Floyd continues to claim that Canelo is easy work.
Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years.
The rivalry between Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez is intensifying more than ever. 11 years after their legendary clash, it remains one of the most talked about matchups in boxing. Despite both fighters continuing to build their legacies, discussions about their first encounter still haven't faded with time.
Because you're too young, you have no experience.
Right. Well, but he's a much bigger man.
He is, but he's 21 years old, flexing his muscles like, I can take on Floyd, I'm the very best.
Recently, Floyd's camp, particularly his uncle and former trainer Jeff Mayweather, reignited the rivalry with bold comments about Canelo's abilities, especially in a potential rematch. His remarks sparked a heated exchange between him, Canelo, and Floyd himself.
Because I do see some decline in Canelo, but even though I see
In an interview, Jeff Mayweather shared his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against Edgar Berlanga. Canelo secured a dominant win, defeating Berlanga in Las Vegas by unanimous decision and knocking him down in the third round. While the victory appeared to be another milestone in Canelo's legendary career, Jeff wasn't convinced it proved Canelo was on the same level as Floyd.
Hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking at.
Jeff began by acknowledging that Canelo is a great fighter, saying, "Canelo's Canelo," but added that we've seen glimpses of him, not the same version we saw in the past. While he praised Canelo's dominant performance, Jeff quickly made it clear that the current Canelo didn't compare to the one of the past. He's still Canelo, but not the Canelo we saw before, Jeff stated, with a tone that seemed less admiring and more dismissive of Canelo's progression as a fighter.
More difficult between Mayweather or Bivol, and why?
I think both are similar. Just Bivol is.
The conversation took a heated turn when the interviewer asked Jeff about a potential rematch between Floyd in his prime and Canelo today. Jeff didn't hold back, confidently predicting that the outcome would be the same as their first fight in 2013. He has no chance, just like last time. He'd get whooped again, just like the first time, Jeff bluntly stated.
Obviously, Floyd Mayweather and Bivol. I've heard fighters say they learn more from losses than wins. Which of those fights did you learn from, or which one bothered you the most just out of those two?
Bothered me more like the Bivol fight because, I think I'm not in my 100% in that fight. I should be stop it and take more time.
It was clear that Jeff Mayweather didn't believe Canelo's rise to superstardom and his multi-division world championships had changed much in his view. He maintained that Floyd's defensive brilliance and ring IQ were unmatched, and no matter Canelo's accomplishments, he couldn't overcome that. Even when the reporter highlighted Canelo's recent successes, Jeff remained unshaken. Floyd is the face of boxing too. Floyd fought in many weight classes too, he said, dismissing the idea that Canelo had surpassed Floyd in legacy.
Impressive about him.
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think he's one tough fights and.
Despite Canelo's growing resume, with impressive victories over top-tier fighters like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Caleb Plant, as well as titles in 4 weight classes, Jeff Mayweather dismissed the idea that Canelo had surpassed Floyd's legacy. Floyd had retired undefeated, while Canelo continued to rise. As expected, Canelo didn't take Jeff's comments lying down. Known for his fierce determination and pride, the Mexican champion responded in an interview with DAZN in Boxing, making his feelings clear about the idea of a rematch with Floyd.
Canelo is this. You proved yourself already. You proved yourself. You fought a lot of great fighters. You tested yourself. You went up in weight
Canelo expressed his desire for revenge, saying he'd love the opportunity for a rematch with Floyd. While he acknowledged that the likelihood of such a fight happening was slim, his determination to prove himself was clear. Obviously, we know it's not going to happen, but yes, I would love to get rid of that little thorn, Canelo added. His words weren't just about beating Floyd again, they were about erasing the pain of his first loss and demonstrating how much he had grown as a fighter.
When I'm in my 30s and they're in their 30s, you know what they say? Oh, this guy all washed up.
Canelo's first loss to Floyd in 2013 was a pivotal moment in his career. At the time, Canelo was a rising star, but Floyd's defensive mastery and tactical approach exposed flaws in the younger fighter's game. Instead of crushing his spirit, the loss fueled Canelo's development. In the years that followed, he transformed into a multi-weight world champion, conquering divisions from light middleweight to light heavyweight.
Where to fight, and you were both in your prime, he would win.
Well, it's crazy that, Canelo said that, because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man. So I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo.
Canelo's confidence now is a stark contrast to the young fighter who faced Floyd nearly a decade ago. His skills have evolved, and his mentality has sharpened. While Jeff Mayweather sees Floyd's victory as definitive, Canelo believes the outcome would be very different if they met again. If we fought again, I'd school him. I'm not the same fighter I was back then, Canelo has said in past interviews, and it's clear he still feels that way today.
When Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man. So I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here.
The back and forth didn't stop with Canelo's response. Floyd Mayweather, ever the showman with a brash personality, also had his say. He wasn't going to let Jeff's words or Canelo's comments go unanswered. Floyd weighed in on the debate with a direct and bold response. According to Floyd, while Canelo may think he's improved, he still believes he's on a different level. Floyd took to social media, stating, "Canelo is not what he thinks he is," clearly challenging the Mexican fighter's belief that he could defeat him in a rematch. Floyd wasn't impressed with Canelo's progress, implying that if Canelo had faced the same caliber of fighters Floyd had, he wouldn't be the superstar he is today. Floyd continued, "If there were more fighters like me, Canelo wouldn't be the name he is right now," referencing his own dominance in the sport. Floyd has always been quick to remind the world that he helped shape boxing's landscape. He believes his career, marked by his ability to outsmart, outmaneuver, and outwork his opponents, played a major role in elevating the sport to where it is today. "I fought the best and I'm undefeated. That's why I'm the greatest," Floyd asserted. His statement wasn't just about Canelo, it was about his own legacy. Floyd firmly believes his impact on boxing goes beyond his personal accomplishments. To him, if the sport had more champions with the same skill level he possessed, Canelo might not have had the same opportunities to rise through the ranks.
Canelo's a hell of a fighter. There's a lot of great Mexican fighters. That's not for me to rate fighters. I just take my hat off to so many fighters that paved the way, for me to be where I'm at, just, throughout life.
Adding to the drama, Jeff Mayweather made comments about Canelo Alvarez's future, particularly regarding a potential fight against David Benavidez. Jeff stirred controversy by claiming Canelo wouldn't stand a chance against the younger, bigger Benavidez if he takes as many punches as he did in his recent victory over Jaime Munguia. Despite Canelo's long list of accomplishments, Jeff believes that recent performances, especially against opponents like Munguia, have shown vulnerabilities that a fighter like Benavidez would exploit.
Eso. Venga. Cinco, venga.
Canelo's victory over Munguia wasn't the dominant performance many fans had hoped for, especially given the hype surrounding the fight. While Canelo secured a 12-round unanimous decision, it wasn't one-sided. His punch output was lower than expected, and though he controlled the fight for most of it, Munguia remained competitive throughout. One judge scored it 115 to 112, reflecting how close some of the rounds were, while the other two judges had it more in Canelo's favor. The low punch count raised concerns. Jeff Mayweather's take on Canelo's performance was blunt. He believes Canelo's work rate just isn't what it used to be. The fact that Canelo struggled with someone like Munguia, despite his vast experience and skill, only strengthened Jeff's doubts about Canelo's ability to handle a fighter like Benavidez.
Canelo, not Pacquiao. Pacquiao lost a bunch of times. First of all, this is a dude we don't even know who beat Pacquiao. Like, we got to go so deep in his resume. He lost somewhere in the Philippines. No one talks about that. Then he had mad controversial fights, and he's gotten stopped. Canelo's proven to be more durable and accomplished probably more.